Hello, Jake. I'm ready. Should we hop on Discord? Oh yeah. Mm. Don't worry. I'm gonna scroll through chat for now. It's a crazy Unreal render. What is this?
This world is at a tremble with its strength and mighty power. They're sending up to heaven to get the brimstone.
Nice, Marcus. Thank you very much. You're on? Okay. Call you somehow? Oh, I see you.
You hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can. Wait, let me turn the music off.
Okay, sick. Cool. Yeah, we'll try and do this as quick as possible.
Right.
Because you do need to get to work. But I think I've obviously done a bit more work, so it would also be nice to show you that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But our school, so obviously the project's, I said, 6 weeks, which is not a lot of time because that's tech as well.
Sorry, Jake. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear you better. 1 second.
Okay, easy.
One sec. Can you say something?
Hello?
Oh, hello. Yeah, I can hear. Good. Cool. Great.
Good.
Yep. Good.
Did you manage to read the brief itself? Or
Yeah, I can hear you
should
now.
we go through it?
Wait, sorry. I didn't hear
Okay.
that question.
I said, did you read the brief or should we go through it?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I was about to read it now. So, should I read it now or
Okay.
should we?
Yeah, go for it. I can just share my screen because then everything's on my side. I
Sounds
don't know if
good.
that's easier for you. Good.
Yeah, probably that would work.
Will they be able to see it?
Should we go to the... Wait, how do we do this? I guess we'll have to call, right? Not on the voice channel. On...
Well, no, sharing the screen is all here. I can.
Oh yeah,
I can
yeah.
do it from
Yeah, if you share screen, then
Yeah.
they should be able to see, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, let me know when you set up.
Oh, you see it? Oh, I see it. Okay, wait. Oh. I think people can see. Guys, if
Should I
you guys
check?
can't see, let me
Yeah,
know.
I
Oh,
can
yeah, you guys
I
can
can
see. Yeah,
see
they
I
can
have
see
the
it.
stream open.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool. Amazing. Okay.
cool. All right. So this is our project. It's called Living Landscape and Landscapes of Connection, spanning Athlone, which is a place in Cape Town again. Large scale sporting venues for urban regeneration. I remember asking you last year, like, what would you do if you had to do like an aqua center or something? But they've changed the brief this year to sporting. I think it's mainly basketball, handball, and a few other things. Netball or something. And so, yeah, I'll just read through it, and it's a bit. I don't know if you want to read through it, because sometimes reading out loud, I don't like when people read out loud. I prefer to read it myself, so it's up to you.
Let me see. Introduction under the. In quarter 1 under the march. Do you want to just summarize it?
Yeah, sure. Let me actually have it on my iPad, because then I've written notes and stuff. That it's probably a bit easier. So essentially, it's all our projects are very community focused. So how to integrate the community in whatever the design is. And so for this one, there's a lot of sport in South Africa. The main ones being football, cricket, rugby. Those are I would say the main ones. Netball's also big. Okay, lovely. My iPad's not working. That's it. Okay. And then yeah, so a lot of the time it's figuring out how to do that, how to integrate the social and the physical, and which is obviously similar to what you guys do, but yeah, they do place a big importance on it. Being South Africa and there's a large population of underprivileged people, it is very important to uplift. And Athlone is a place where there are gangs and a lot of gang violence. And so it is very important for sport to be something that brings people out of those areas. And I looked at a study. I looked at a study. I think it's here. Yeah. So UWC is one of the universities in Cape Town, and they did a study, and here there's quite a large percentage of people who play sport in order to stay away from drugs, alcohol, and crime. So it is, yeah, sport is a big thing for people to get away from gangs and those kind of things. So, but anyway, there is a canal. I'll show you on Google Earth. There's this canal that is extremely polluted. So it runs all the way back there. And so this is our site, but I'll get there. There's a canal that runs through here, and there's a waterways treatment works, which is currently having plans to be upgraded, because a lot of once the sewage is cleaned, it gets pumped into this Black River, and in winter it will back up. It can go back up the stream and get into the canals. But yeah, I think this one stops here. But yeah, that is getting a upgrade. I think it stops there unless it goes underground, which I'm not sure about. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. And so part of the brief is to integrate working with water, incorporate strategies that address water management, environmental rehabilitation, and resilience. The one issue with this canal is a lot of dumping occurs. So you can even see on Google Earth all this litter. There's an informal settlement here. So there's a lot of litter that gets dumped. And that will be even just oils and everything. So it's not exactly safe for people to inhabit unless you go that route of cleaning it and maybe extending this and setting up some sort of, what's it called? Flay. I don't know what it's called in English, even though I'm English. This thing, what is this called?
What other language do you know?
Flay is Afrikaans, but I don't speak
Oh.
Afrikaans. Like, but it's just what we call it. I think, yeah, it's a wetland. Wetland, that's the word.
Mm.
There we go. Um, okay, where am I? I've lost. Oh, there. And so here in Athlone, there was a lot of sporting stadiums. So there's this one. There's the sports ground. There's this athletics stadium. There's hockey, football occurs here, cricket occurs here, more football. I think these are fives courts, but these are private. And then, yeah, that's hockey, athletics, and then a big main stadium. So, okay, let me go back to brief. So after the water, the important thing is, unconventional sports programming, propose innovative approaches to sports venue planning, focusing on adaptability and long-term community benefit. Super spans, having a large-scale roofing system. So, yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Short and long-term
A large scale
adaptability.
what? A large scale reefing? What? So,
Roof.
roof.
Roofing.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Cool.
So, yeah. Short and long-term adaptability, explore design hybridity between permanent and impermanent movable elements participating changing users and events needs. So, yeah, we'll get to the function just now. And then, yeah, it's just a strip section. So here, Cape Town 2040 is evaluating the city's readiness for potential hosting the 2040 Summer Olympics and Paralympic Games. This includes embracing sustainable development strategies and maximizing existing infrastructure to meet flexible sporting requirements. Athlone has been identified as a significant part of this vision, underscoring its potential for urban regeneration through sports. So essentially that's the purpose of what we're doing, is urban regeneration through sports. Within Cape Town's broader Olympic feasibility strategies, Athlone Stadium and its environs are positioned as a potential aquatic center and training hub. This spotlight on Athlone aligns with new Athlone regeneration document, which envisions revitalized public assets, improved connectivity, and unlocking of public land for inclusive economic development. So here we do have quite a large site. And that's essentially the unsafe canal which runs there, the polluted, and then this is one of the residential areas in Athlone, which is, I don't know how safe it is. I haven't walked around, but Athlone in general is not the safest place. So primary use would be basketball, netball, handball. A main court with this dimensioning. I'm not really worrying about the dimensions right now. Maximum total span of roof structure, and then looking at, they gave the example of the copper box in London. Secondary uses, change rooms, reception, spectator seating, communal amenities, fitness rooms. Yeah, so this is just going through all those different functions. I don't think it's that necessary at this point for what we're looking at, but maybe just an overall, so you actually know. Yeah, demountable, adaptable elements. So movable seating possibly, back of house and media facilities, for if if there's like a music show that needs to happen in the proposal. And then propose a suitable figure balancing permanent and temporary structures. So this is that copper box in London. I don't know if you've been there or you know where it is.
I have not.
Okay. Maximum 1,000 meters dedicated to complementary uses, retail, community rooms, cultural heritage, interpretation centers, public space and urban interface, desire lines and pedestrian pathways connecting Klipfontein Road, a canal, and adjacent residential neighborhood. You guys know what desire lines are, right?
Desire line. No.
Okay, so you see here, there's these lines.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's kind of like where people walk. So you can see like there's formal walkways which have been
Ah, I
created,
see. I see.
but then
Informal
there's
walkways.
the informal walkway, essentially desire
Mm.
lines.
Huh.
So it's kind of like how do you integrate that into the scheme?
Oh, you have to
And then it's
integrate those existing ones.
yeah, so you map them, and
Oh
then
wow.
you kind of go how is this how we bring people to the building? Because here you have like a node, which would be an activated area, like if everyone walks to this point,
Mm-hmm.
and you have people walking this way and that way, so that's kind of like a central area, and then that happens in all these different areas where these formal meets informal.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah, they say explore canal edge rehabilitation, safety, and public amenity, and then consider exclusive or inclusive design measures for the adjacent informal settlement. So that's pretty much it. This is just how it's all gonna look. The timeline. Yeah, I don't think we need to go through that. So I think I shared this document with you.
Yes, I've got that.
Okay. So then we were tasked to analyze a thesis, and they gave us certain 3 thesis documents, and we had to analyze one of them. And so I did this one. Athens racially fragmented suburban landscape provides an opportunity for an urban proposal that realizes its context potential through positive urban linkage. Okay, she's yapping. But yeah, so the stadium is in Cape Town, is like informally known as the home of football for Cape Town. And it was used as a training ground for the 2010 FIFA World Cup. And yeah, secondary uses, it is quite significant to the community because it held anti-apartheid rallies. But it wasn't used as a FIFA location because of the surrounding area. So it's too unsafe to actually host the games. So that's why they chose not to have it there. Then yeah, it's close to the CBD, and it has established bus and taxi routes. So looking at the social, economic, or cultural takeaways, there's a lot of jazz and performances in the area, and so it's like, how do you incorporate, or how do you have these events in mind as you design? And then a lot of these buildings become like unused, white elephants, sorry, because the government doesn't have interest in them and doesn't pay for like keeping them like up to date and clean and structurally sound. So they end up not being used, and because they're not in the greatest areas, then they aren't used. So then constraints and opportunities. There's not a great access point from this main road. The only access point at the moment is here, so there's no like place for you to find parking or whatever from that street. But the opportunities is to create cohesion between the sports zones, mixed use integration, improve the canal system essentially. Have a presence linked to transit system, promote the relationship between schools. Then there's security, how do you bring in light and ensure the safety of vehicles. And yeah, so these were her opportunities and constraints. And so this was, I think, is an image from apartheid of the white people, white police roaming the streets. I think it could, I doubt it's recent. But that's one of the photos that she used. And then she documented how like the different spaces could adapt to different performances. Okay. Whoa, where's all my text gone? I'm just gonna open the one I sent you because that has my analysis. You can still see this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I just looking at the transport routes, and then if the building is placed close to the street, there should probably be a buffer zone to account for like pedestrian activities. The building, yeah, so that's one of the roads there. There's an additional road. There's like 4 lanes. So it could be accessed from this road. Possibly. Then there is high pedestrian activity along. Let me actually show you. I haven't drawn this in. I was actually doing that before while you were doing that portfolio review. But here there's a lot of activity, as you can see, the shopping center. So there's a lot of pedestrian activity up and down essentially the whole road. Because there's so many schools as well. Just give me a second.
No worries. Really nice. Lots of research. Damn.
Yeah, there is. I've tried to do a lot.
Amazing. Sorry,
But
I
I
keep
feel
going.
like I'm doing too much. So yeah, so here's it's quite activated, and if you go into the street view, you can see that it gets busy. And so I'll get to this later, but just remember this is like an informal way of, I mean, it's formal, but it's also informal. With shop selling. And in general, there are more informal places of selling food and whatever is being sold. So then, yeah, so then I looked at the canal as a spatial activator, sustainable waste management systems to improve water quality, activate the canal even by possibly increasing the width. And I'll show you the image. So that's that image. So we currently have this in the waterfront in the CBD, around the CBD. So kind of looking at how can that be recreated in this area, and maybe by blocking off a certain part and then rehabilitating a smaller portion, so that they can use even the canal as a sporting place. And there's a lot of flooding in this area because there's a high water table. Boundary against others. So this could be act as a protective measure, because right now you can't pass over well, you can pass over, there's like bridges, but if you restrict that access to one bridge and that bridge is then has security, then you you can control the access of who's coming in and out of those residential areas, because I'm guessing where most of it's easy to run into these areas if something gets stolen. It's easy to get away because it's so dense. And then these are all the hatched are the sporting facilities, and the non-hatched are the religious and educational buildings. So there's a lot of integration that could occur between these facilities. Yeah. So then this I just zoned all the different areas and we did a SWOT analysis showing what are the strengths and the weaknesses. I don't think it's completely, I mean, I can go through it, but in terms of time, I would rather move on to other stuff.
I don't. Well, whatever you feel like, man.
Okay. I know you need to work, so
No, it's
uh,
no, it's fine, it's fine. You go over whatever you think is important. You think is important to your project right now.
okay. So
I got
essentially
time. Don't
what
worry.
I'm
For you,
okay,
Jake, I got time.
thank you. I mean, I think I can take 1% credit for the portfolio review idea.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got me to the 10K. So yeah, thanks to you.
I
So
was the first portfolio review, but
I know.
the
Hell yeah.
come on now.
Hey, I'm doing this right now, so obviously
Yeah,
I
exactly.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
No, looking cool so far. So sorry, keep going.
Thank you. So for me, obviously looking at the informal, I'm also going. Okay. Let me just get to the SWOT analysis. But I think I've pretty much gone through most of it: surveillance, security, open space, design lines. Yeah. So there's pretty much everything, and we also have load shedding, so we don't have electricity at certain times. So you have to get electricity places, and that'll affect lighting. Anyway, because of the flooding, I also thought the water can be pumped out of the canal and used. I can see you.
Testing you.
um, like used as for sprinkler systems and those kind of things. So instead of going into the residential areas or the informal settlement, it can be pumped out and used elsewhere, which is a possibility. And then here you can see there are initiatives to cleaning the canal.
Wait, sorry,
Just give
shall we
me a
start with
second.
me? Give me 1 second.
I need to close my door.
Sorry, Jake, I'm back.
All good. So then my first thought was to put the site here and have that buffer zone. And which allows for parking in front that can then, which is a lot more safe because cars do get stolen. So it would be safer there because there's a church here and a school here. So there's not going to be much activity towards the cars from in this location. And it's also easily accessible from that road if you just pull out from there and into that area. So maybe pulling the building back more could be a good idea, and that allows for better integration to the stadium. But I was gonna actually ask you that. And then I also looked at the visual impact of by creating high visual impact on street edge. But it doesn't really matter because the buildings are not tall. They're mainly residential buildings. So no matter where you put it, it's going to have a pretty good visual impact. I don't think that's really an argument in this piece. And then, yeah, here I just said the canal is a safety barrier. Yeah, it is essential for there to be bridges across here. So there you can see there's 3 places where people can walk onto. And it is essential for people to access this because there are kids living in these areas that need to get to school, and that is a quick way and yeah, to get to school. Okay, I think I went through those pretty quickly, and there's one more. um,
God damn, so much research. I'm kidding. Keep
I-
going.
yeah, I like the research part. I feel like that's where your ideas come from. So the more you do, the more ideas you can possibly have. So this was just my summary of debrief, so we don't have to go through that. Just, I'll give you a history. The site is made up of, this is not my words, but the people, I don't know. People are gonna get angry because they're not from South Africa, but
Don't worry about them. Don't worry about them. You're the local here.
Look.
I don't fuck them if they're.
with in South Africa, the races are divided between black, white, and colored. And I know colored is a slur in other countries, but it's not here. It's actually a group, and they use that word. And so there was in the CBD during apartheid, colored people were removed from their houses, and we know apartheid history. Good. And placed into places like Athlone. And so that was the Group Areas Act. And yeah, so now a lot of the people live in Athlone. This is just geological information. I don't know how to say that word. Olean sand. Bedrock is Malmesbury Shale. Views of the back of Table Mountain to False Bay. So here, I've shown you Table Mountain before, but that's Table Mountain, and so from the site you get to see the back of it. Well, yeah, there. Ooh, there. That's quite cool. So it was duned. Okay, you don't really need to know this. There are people that have come up from Athlone for jazz as well as for sporting. So they've like made it in sport. And there's a lot of different cultures. So here you can see how the races are divided. So you have majority colored people in the area, and then there's Indian people that live here, and a few black people, and barely any white people. They're the purple dots. So yeah, it is. You should actually check this out. It's quite interesting, like the website
Mhm.
of where people are located in South Africa. So yeah, I just went and looked at the police reports and the crime that they're in the top 30 for all these crimes. Athlone is. And this is whether it increases or decreases. So there is 4 billion rand going into that water treatment works that I spoke to you about, to like upgrade it. And then I was just how can water be a social element? There's an opportunity to clean the canal. So that was just previous stuff. Then I just looked at sport in general and how sport can be a place of urban regeneration. And Nelson Mandela, he said it has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to the youth in a language that understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. So yeah, there's both Mandela and the Archbishop were supporters of Olympianism and Olympic values of friendship, respect, and excellence. So I think, just will go in my research somewhere. And then I touched on this earlier, and the effects of sport on children, and these are just some more facts. So then what I haven't done, which I still need to do and I want to do, is look at the Olympics and the origins of Olympics. But I know I've done so much research, so it's just more research. But I want to look into this because essentially what I want my concept to be is how can places be, how can this design, how did I word it? How can the design be a place that encourages not only formal sport but informal sport? So then we get to this point. Yeah, oh wait, it's on Photoshop. In South Africa, in the informal
Bro,
settlements.
screens. Next slide, Photoshop. Very nice.
Yeah, so informal. So like you think about when you were a kid, and most people when you're a kid and you're playing outside and you don't have phones, you find things to do. You know, as kids, my sister and I, we used to race leaves down the canals, you know, and sticks, drop them, and then like watch them and see who's wins. So like you make things. I don't know, like being a kid is just legendary. Um, and so here, a lot of the time, they race tires essentially, and I just did barrels because barrels, often you'll find a barrel, you'll make it a drum, you'll hit it, you know. So tin cans they make into cars. I'm not going to try and find an image right now. And wires they make into these cars, and then they race the cars. And then also stuff like Red Rover, parkour, hopscotch, building sandcastles, hide and seek, all those games that you kind of create as kids. And so how can the building support and foster these activities? But obviously it's very like conceptual. I don't have any building, so it's difficult. But yeah, so like the area, I showed you earlier, there's informal areas of buying and selling. And so how can there be a promotion of the informal between sports? And how can new sports be created? How can the place be somewhere where new sports can be created? I don't know if there's anything else about sport. And yeah, looking at the Olympics, that allowing that to happen is what the Olympics does try to do. Is like it is trying to bring more sports to the events every time, and so that more people can appreciate and enjoy and meet people of different sports backgrounds or whatever. And so with that, the more sports the more sports that you can promote, the more people there can be in that area, and the more it is more likely that people will be in those spaces because there is more sport to be accepted. Like the one thing that I would like to do is make sure that every space outside there can be someone that can skate there. So often in town you'll see they put those things on rails so that people can't skate down the rails, and it's very annoying as a skater when you go into town. Yeah, anyway, and when the floors they're like too rough, so you can't skate on them, and there's like a lovely fat staircase that you'd like to ollie down, and you can't do that. So
Facts.
exactly, and so essentially making those areas where no place is restricted by certain building decisions or architectural decisions. Yeah. So then this was one thing that I wanted to ask you was obviously I want to have like a certain style to this project, and I really wanted to go like the old route and have like more of a traditional style of artwork and drawing. But how we would, with the lecturer that came and spoke to us, he kind of showed it as something futuristic. So you could go that route of either like a futuristic style, but I really like this idea of going the older styles. But that's a smaller part. These are just images that I'm gonna have inspiration from. And then I don't know if you know like the basic torch. This isn't the torch, the Olympic torch, but there's the basic torch. And this is what we call a knob carry. It was used in battle. It's like you can still see these images right on Google. I think you can. Yeah, you can. Okay. So kind of integrate. I just wanted to create an icon for the project, and so kind of joining the original torch with a knob carry, I thought could be quite cool. Anyway, so yeah, there I'm just starting to map what the site is, and I obviously need to do a lot more text and whatever, but I want to do this part, and then I want to do the part further down the road where there's a lot more activity, and to show how there's informal activity and how that can be more integrated into this area, because here it's like there's not much activity. So I think that's it. Yeah, I think I've covered everything.
Amazing stuff, Jake. Jeez, proud of you, man. That was a lot of research. What, you had 1 week to do that?
Yeah, I've done that in 5 days.
Nice, well done. Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Whoever's watching, you've been put to shame. It's like, God, that is a lot of research. Great, and I think
You like my
you're
border?
yeah. I do like your border.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Very cool. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna keep it somewhat short because there's a lot of things I could say because it's just even cool to just hear about how you guys have briefs and stuff like that. But well, got some few things written down. Okay, cool. So I obviously I'm never gonna be an expert on your site in South Africa and things like that, but there's just interesting things that I found, and I can give like a few things I can suggest of just random references you can look at and see what you think. And things maybe you can like research and see how you feel. Let's start with the beginning of my notes. Right. Sports canal. So 3 main programs: sports. You have to do something with sports. You have to do something with water, and it might have to be multi-purpose for things like concerts and things like that.
Yeah.
Kind of. And I think you definitely you should definitely accommodate the children's pathway to school and things from the neighborhood. Like that definitely feels like the best thing to do, and like 100% that things should move out of the way for those things. Those are like the primary things of not making people's life there harder or hard in any way. And so are the people living around there going to be the people using the land, or it's going to be, or at least are they going to be part of the people using the land? Probably, right?
They are part. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's the whole city. But obviously events happen how many times a year? So who's going to use it the most? Probably the people in the area.
Yeah. Okay, so normally it's going to be a sporting place, but then it will have events, like big sports events or concerts and stuff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like with the brief, it spoke about the 2040 Olympics.
Right. Okay.
And could be somewhere where that takes place.
Yeah. Okay, I'll get straight to it. I guess so. I think for massing, when you show that drawing of the mass of you putting it close to the road or farther from the road, I think you could do it more as in little parts of, like, you can map out the size of a game that you think would be a fun game to have on this site. For example, a little basketball game. How big of an area does a basketball game require? How many areas of basketball game you want to have on that site, and any other games you might incorporate. Maybe you need a bathroom. Maybe you need a convenience store to sell water, a water fountain, and map them out more as smaller, like squares or circles, whatever, on the site. They don't have to be, one whole thing.
That's
because most of the time it will be used for more like smaller things. And like when you go to like this is when I used to live in China. It's more like you just play anywhere, right? It's like big ass piece of land, and you would just like chase around, and then you will have one group playing here and then one group playing there, and there's no like boundaries between where you guys play. You just like wherever you play, you just play, and then you're like scared of the other group because they're older than you or something, so you play a bit farther from them. So yeah, that I thought could be a good way to mass and give you more things to think about, like what exact games you want to play. And I really like the idea of playing with more informal games. So there is someone who is in my group, Kaylee, who is doing stuff in Bermuda, and it's about she's doing stuff with the cricket pitch. She's analyzing the cricket pitch and talking about the history of the cricket pitch, if it being like I think so. It was originally, I think it's a game. I just quickly put in the ChatGPT, but I think it was originally a game invented by the locals somewhere. I don't know if it's Bermuda or somewhere. It's been invented by the locals. It's this informal game of like fighting leaves or something like that, right? And then the British people saw it or something, or the colonizers saw it, and they're like, let's repurpose this into something that we can use. To first of all not make them feel completely forced, but to give these things rules so that they will have to play them in a way that we enjoy watching more or something like that. It's like you need to play in the stadium, you need to play in certain lines, you need to be this far apart from each other. And if I want to play this game, also you need to be this distance away from me or something. So you can look into the roots of the games you're trying to play, like basketball, handball, netball, which I'm pretty sure they will have some kind of things like this where they've been changed in some way or another.
Yeah, so like rugby came from football, from William Webb Ellis, and he picked up a football while playing a game and then put it in the goal. So that's an example of where the sport of rugby came from.
Yeah, it's like very strategically like changed, often by the people who wants to make it a thing that they enjoy more and take it away from the other people. So you can look into that because they obviously don't start in a lined up square field. They change into that. So you can work backwards into think about how they originally started. And it's really
actually a good point.
Yeah, and like
I actually really like that point.
Hell yeah, it's exciting. That's why because it excites me as well. That's why I think what I hear, and like I think a really cool collage, or even just like a way for you to show the idea to your tutor or something, or just it's like a provocative thing. It's like you could try collaging. Imagine collaging you playing with your sister a game of racing leaves down a stream in a Olympic stadium, right? Like a super huge, crazy Olympic stadium. And on the TV screen, just a zoomed in picture of your leaves, and then on the field, this massive field, it's just two kids, racing alongside the river. And what kind of landscape you would need for that? You don't need to think about that. That's not the point, but it's just to get the idea of how strange it would be and what kind of feelings that might give. And I mean, if you're bored, you can do the opposite of that. Imagine you playing a super super formal game of what's something that requires a lot of uniform, like basketball or something, where everyone's super serious in an open field of just rural landscape, and like it's just like an open field with just trees lying around and stuff. And maybe that feels more community driven because it's not closed in this place that you have to pay a lot of tickets for, and wear really nice clothes, buy super expensive drinks, where anyone can just watch. So these, I think, are cool, like goals you can look at if you're interested in terms of aesthetics and things. Well, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of old things, I feel like that's pretty easy to do. I think eventually you just get to a point where if you just overlay some kind of some dirty stain thing onto your image, and it will look old, and just turn the saturation to be a bit more yellowy and thing. So you don't need to worry about that. You can do like retro sci-fi and stuff. So I think you'll be fine. So whatever you want to, that's cool. And I think you can also do things about. So you said playing it with tires. You can also play with things that that are.
You said retro. What did you say? Retro.
Oh, retro sci-fi. It's like a style.
Yeah, I'll look that up.
It's what I kind of looked at.
Oh, that is very cool.
Yeah. So it's like a in between. It's like a dystopian sci-fi. Looks like the kind. Yeah. So I was thinking you're talking about playing with tires and stuff. But what if I guess tire itself is kind of like that, right? Your tire is not something that these communities use. Like they probably don't drive cars around. So they play with tires because it's the waste material from the other classes or the other communities that gets dumped in where they are. So they play with these tires. Yeah. So what are other things like that? Like you talked about a great one, which is the railings. Like how could you like pull those railings out and play a game with the railings, or things like telephone booths or like benches, like the really generic benches you see on like the city centers and stuff, because that's how they promote this like high tech future, or this like clean aesthetic of government controlled infrastructure. And how could you play with those things in your game, reuse them for something that they're not supposed or not supposed to be used for or designed for. Same way they're playing with tires here. And you can also think about finding ways to break laws. So this is my friend's doing a project, and he's very very into this. So he's doing a project on protest, and he's from Hong Kong, and he's very into the protest ideas, and he's been trying to do a protest project for like the longest time. And right now he's building a wall. He's looking at barricades, like he's looking at ways to protest against whatever power. But
we had protests at varsity, so we've been at home the whole week
online. Shit. Oh,
yeah.
So really relevant then, I guess, for you. This is, I guess, protesting with sport or something like that.
Yeah.
So his thing is about, but the point I'm trying to make here is more about like subverting laws where there's an existing law. Where you think of some laws help people live, right? Like saying that you need sunlight to have a habitable home, but those laws only exist for people that live in the law. Because you go to the slums, there's no requirement for laws, right?
Yes.
And so what are laws that work against people in those areas? Like, oh, you need this to get a permit or something. We need this law. Need to, I don't know. I don't know. That's the thing. This is the thing you could research, but I think it's interesting to like take a law that has been working against some certain people, and then finding a gap in the law or something that then you're kind of using a cheeky way. It doesn't have to be completely realistic, but people are probably doing that already. Of like they're sneaking by the law, right? So just it'll be a cool point to have at some point in your project of like breaking the law, but a law that everyone can stand behind. Of like this law should not be enforced on everyone. Like, not, like the same thing. You don't enforce the law of having light or this amount of insulation in everyone's home when it comes to people with less money. So you should not be enforcing this on everyone in the same way. That'd be cool to think about. Trying to think about.
So you were saying I must look at the retro sci-fi instead of this, or
Oh no, I'm just saying. If you said
as an
you're
example?
yeah, just like if you just like have a look if you see if you're interested. But because you said your tutor said a futuristic look, and you say you wanted a old look, but they could
Well,
both look nice together, anyways.
yeah, he. It wasn't that he said it. We were just given a lecture, and with the 2040 plan for the
Mhm.
Olympics, it was like a more futuristic example, like space
Mhm.
AG, which will look cool. But yeah, I just was keen to do like this style because of the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it would work, but I don't know whether it'll be the best. Like I don't know if the futuristic will be better because it is essentially like our client is essentially the Olympic committee or essentially, and so how can you will this building be? Could it be built? Essentially.
Mhm. Well,
Why
I
am I
think
saying this?
if you go to like Pinterest or something, like there's a lot. Well, let me just search a virtual sci-fi. Like there's a lot of AI images of virtual sci-fi that are old and new at the same time, and it's quite cool.
Mm,
Like you don't like it's not like you have to do 50-50 of each. But you're
yeah,
probably gonna have some kind of well, not at least like modern or current day looking thing in your thing. Anyways, so like
yeah.
it will look kind of like a mix of two. Anyways, so yeah, I'm not worried about your aesthetics. And it's too
Okay.
early as well. Anyways, for you to you just do
Well,
whatever you want. I think.
it does change. Like for instance, the if it's futuristic, I'd rather use this icon than this one.
Mm-hmm. You can always
So it's
change
like
those at
stuff
any
like
point,
that.
though. No,
Yeah, I guess.
fixated on the torch right now.
I like the torch, bro. I was quite chuffed at that idea of like integrating because the knob carries on our coat of arms, so
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
cool.
No, it's cool. I will say, I think if you completely just go old, it might limit you in some ways, or some things might look. I guess I don't know. It would be a lot of work. I guess I don't know. Up to you. I'm not worried about your aesthetics. Um,
I'm worried about the aesthetics, but
um, if you go old, yeah, why not? Why don't you start old? Because I think it would be good to look at the history of things, anyways, of the sports. Because it looks like you already have a lot
yeah.
of knowledge on like the current site and like everything around it, all the their goals for the next Olympics, all that stuff. What about the kind of old? What's the oldest goal for basketball? Why was it developed? Where was it developed? And like how did they play it and stuff?
Mm,
There's this MIT project, which when I first saw it, I thought it was pretty goofy. I didn't understand why. But maybe you could look into. I mean, I don't know if you can find more information, but probably could. It's just the most recent basketball related reference I came across. Let me pull it up. Um, so, um, I'll send it to you in Discord. How do I do this? Chat. I'm in general chat. I don't know where I am, but I just sent it into somewhere.
okay.
But like it looks. It's called the hoop cycle, and it's
Is this a Discord server?
no, this is on Facebook. I just searched it up. Hoop cycle.
Oh,
It's an MIT
wait,
project.
where did you put it?
I put it in Discord somewhere. General. But if you just search the name Hoop Cycle, I'll put in the chat, and
Okay.
I'll put it in the YouTube chat. Hoop Cycle. I saw it and I was like, what another project that is making that seems too wholesome.
Oh, I see.
But
I'm just watching your stream.
it does have a very wholesome look. But I never really understood what it's for. But you can definitely read more about it. I think it looks at history of like basketball and stuff, and it's trying to make it more inclusive.
Mm.
I'm not sure how. It definitely explains more about it. But I think it's an MIT professor's project, so it's probably got some depth to it, I'd imagine. Um, yeah, and but you see, it's cool because it's not like in a rigid court, and it's movable. So I
Yeah.
guess that's definitely some point that they're trying to make. And I think, I mean, yours could look at you could look at this and see what you like from it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that is all the things I have in my mind.
And in terms of site placement,
Like the
where I should put the building.
I think you can think about it more as like little things right now, and then
So breaking it down a bit more.
yeah, imagine you have these things and you have like 20 of these for different sports that you want to have on the site. You know,
Mm.
one of them could carry like a little bit of water stream and you race leaves, whatever, right? Some of them could be bigger, some of them could be smaller. And during the events, they all kind of come together to form a circle or something. I think that's how cricket pitches were before. Like the pitches were like built when they started somewhere and then they would evolve. There was never like a set thing. Because
Okay.
like you don't see courts evolve these days, but they used
Yeah.
to change quite a lot. So maybe your thing actually, I don't know. That's too far, but I think, do you have to like say your whole building is one thing and let's put it down as one block?
Yes. So okay, I should have shown you that.
Yeah, let
Um,
me.
are you on the thing
Yeah, I'm
again?
back on your Discord. Yeah.
So essentially, this is the size that the building needs to be, essentially. Sorry, I should have showed you
Oh
that.
no, don't worry. Oh, so wait.
Um,
So
so it is quite a behemoth.
uh-huh. Maybe that could be like a store, like a almost just like a pavilion, you know?
Well, it has to seat 7,000 people.
What if you all bring little monoblock chairs?
Mono
You know
monoblock chairs.
monoblocks? The
No.
most common chair in the world, the best
Oh,
design item in the world. I but like I guess my idea is like it'd be cool if your building wasn't as permanent, which is something they say as well, right? Like
yeah.
it could be like the big chunk could just be a very simple floaty little light airy canopy or something. But I don't want to give you like solid ideas though. I'm just saying
Okay. No, no, no. I'll take the ideas. Um, I also should open this. So I was watching this YouTube video earlier, and let me just open it up quick. It'll take me 2 seconds. Um,
yeah,
so
guys, W.
I watched this video
Okay.
on this abandoned building in Germany. Let me see if there's like a there, and so it's quite like a high tech building, and that's the section, and essentially there's these trusses that go across, and this whole seated thing is suspended on these trusses, so it's not like touching the ground. So I don't know, when you said having like movable or something, that just came to mind. This project came to mind.
True,
Um,
but the exterior of that though, that looks very well in my mind. That's the opposite of what you want to
yes,
put
yes,
on that site.
100%. I like one of the examples they gave was that I don't know if you've seen that new the Olympic Aquatic Center in Paris. It's like the
Mm.
CLT structure. Um, Because yeah, I mean, it's still gonna have. I think it's still gonna have to be pretty um solid
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what they want from us.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you have the effect that it's light?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't. Yeah, I think they're definitely gonna want a solid structure, a
Yeah.
permanent. It's a permanent structure, but the functions inside are movable, or the space can be changed, like the interior space,
Mm.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Interiors can be. Hmm. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be as solid because it's warmed, right? Like warmer than Paris, for sure.
Yes. I mean, it does rain a lot in winter.
Mm.
It does get pretty cold.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Mediterranean climate, so we'll like summer's 30 to 35, and
Yeah.
winter is like usually 7 to 15 maybe. I'm just
Yeah.
going off of memory.
I mean, I don't know. I think maybe if you just raise the idea of having like sports and less um like at least in the in not in the performance or not in the event times, or sports being more like freely around the site,
Mm.
and just see what they
Yeah,
say.
yes. No, I think that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think so they want a structure, like a big building, but then how you use the rest of the site
Mm-hmm.
is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
But
so
what
they
if the
do have,
what if the
yeah.
surround the smaller like scattered little sports things becomes the stadium when the event happens? Which
In,
sounds a bit like impossible, right? But maybe because you're so early, right? Like
are you saying,
it's like
I'm
imagine
just gonna,
imagine you know the big transformer that is like on the pyramid and he sucks in sand.
oh, so it's like movable.
Like he
Would
takes
be
in
cool.
like six different little transformers and becomes a giant transformer, right?
Yeah.
Like what if your stadium is pieced together by all these little parts that like every part of it can be taken apart and used for something else when the events aren't happening.
So essentially like having pizza slices,
Kind of, but more yeah,
which can then like come together.
yeah, maybe like
Well,
each
not pizza
column.
slices, but
Yeah, so maybe what stays is just like the main columns that supports the roof, and then all the other, like the seating, the walls. The probably doesn't even have to be like walls, or um, there could be some other form of walls, and they could all be taken apart and be used for other things during other
mm,
times. It's like what's that? Burning Man. It's like Burning Man.
okay.
Um, so you kind of have yeah, which I guess this is definitely a better take on the project, but this is more ambitious than kind of having them be more like then you're not just storing the scattered parts into this event or storing them somewhere and they're not used for another purpose. Then they're actually used for the event as well. You know, and that sounds quite
Yes.
cool to me. Um, can't think of any references off the top of my head, but um, I guess let me just search up. Um,
Yeah, I think I may be quite restricted by going for this like old stuff. I do think that like your retro sci-fi do better idea.
um, oh, this is mega cool. I don't know what this is or how it's gonna help you, but La Fala If you search La Fala on on Google, La
How do you spell
Fala,
it?
LA, and then
Yeah.
FALLA.
Is it a building?
It seems like a doesn't seem like a building. It's like it doesn't definitely seems like an event though. Oh my god, this is insane. But imagine this as like the scale and celebration level that you can get your event to be.
I can't find what you see.
La Fala or
Can
I'll put it in chat. La Fala.
Oh, is it like the looks like a what even is this? I think I see what you see.
Mm.
It's like statues.
Yeah. But that's more for like the kind of celebration feeling you can get with like these things that like the size, and it doesn't look, it looks happy, it looks joyful, it doesn't look too serious, I guess. And here is the, and there's the Mongolian Gurs. Why can't I, why is it getting blocked? Mongolian Gurs, which is not, it's not the idea that like it's not, definitely not nowhere close to the size that you need, but these things can be taken out and be carried everywhere, right? But so then even when they are taken apart, what can you use the materials to build other things? So imagine
Yeah.
the MIT basketball court, when you disassemble it and you can use that material then to build something bigger.
Yeah.
So if you make a catalog, just completely my idea. Imagine you had a catalog of all the materials you have to make the big structure, and then you have another catalog that uses the exact same list of materials, but you can make smaller things with it, like more higher number of smaller things, or just one large thing using the same catalog of materials. It's like having a Lego set and building one giant castle with it versus using that same Lego set to build 5 different little houses with it or something. But again, this is definitely not like, I think not the most important thing, I guess. This could be, I think the most important thing for your project probably is still like the history of sports and like what kind of sports
Yeah.
and like the Olympics, and yeah, more tackling the like the racial issue and like the segregation issue of sports and stuff. This is more just like
Okay.
this I don't think you have to go too deep in, but yeah, this is just a cool idea you can maybe think about. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, man. I hope that helped a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
oh yeah, very interesting though. I'm so like every time I'm like, this doesn't always happen, but sometimes I'm less surprised. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I have nothing to say. But I'm glad I had at least a little bit of input to, to give this time.
Yeah, thank
Which
you.
I think after a few days I might have more, but I'll just let you know if I ever have more. And
Okay,
just
sick.
feel free to check in every week. Like this could be a great thing to like every whenever you
It would
feel.
be super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because to see it process.
Yeah, even if
It
just
can,
yeah, even if I just get to see some drawings and you already know what you're doing, I just look at some drawings and stuff would be really fun.
yeah, definitely. No, I'll
Oh yeah.
definitely do that.
All right then.
Cool.
All right, I need to get the fucking work done, man.
Yeah, me too. I
Ah.
got a draft.
All right, let's graft.
All right.
All right,
I'll be
thank you,
probably
Jake.
just stay on the. Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Hell
so
yeah,
much.
yeah. I think I'm gonna end the
I'll
stream and
stay on the
restart it
stream then.
again and just do a chill work stream and no talking.
Okay, like,
Yes. All right, love you, man.
like,
All right,
love you, bro.
take care, brother.
Cheers, cheers.
All right, guys, I'm gonna end the stream and restart one. See you.